The Minnesota Timberwolves, speaking of number stats, I don't know what it is, but I heard Kat say in his post game the other night, we hadn't won in 20 years or whatever. It's been a while, right? You still on that stage say Kristaps Porzingis, which I heard today, like momentum is that he could possibly return game 4 of this current series. You wouldn't have confidence that they could get the job done?
No.
That doesn't have experience on that. Really?
No, but because one, I don't know how Kristaps Porzingis is going to look. He's been out for a while now, right? So, and I understand.
Y'all are 6-1 now without him.
Huh?
And y'all are 6-1 now. Not y'all, but you know, Celtics are 6-1 without him.
But this is what I'm saying. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. They don't know any better. They don't even understand the moment, in my opinion. They just go out there and hoop and compete at a high level. They play physical, and they're not going to change. It was one thing to watch game 1 and 2 against the Denver Nuggets, but it was another thing to witness what we saw in game 7. Anthony Edwards, he goes 6 for 24 from the field. Okay, cool. You struggling. But the fact is that they hung their hats on the defensive side of things, which is their identity, right? And I've never seen a team walk into Denver and wear Denver down in Denver with that altitude. As the game went on, they got stronger defensively. Like, it seemed like the Minnesota Timberwolves, like, that was their home court. And we know how tough it is to play in that altitude. You damn near can't breathe. Be down 20 points on the road in the game 7. Jay McDaniels hitting corner threes. Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, looking like I mean, he's real comfortable right now and confident. I just don't see anybody like matching that intensity. And Anthony Edwards just got an old soul. And I always I hate to like bring up anybody past, but when it comes down to Anthony Edwards, everybody really should go look at like his upbringing. This shit that he going through right now, through these series, this ain't no adversity to him.
I have not to turn off those comments because someone just said Channing looks like he's in the principal's office.
What are you in?
My office.
He in a back store. Yeah, storage.
It look like a pantry or something.
No. It's
crazy.
It's this thing.
What is?
We're moving, so there's a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, you didn't have to show us, Channing. We didn't have to show us.
You're not going to believe me. I think the Mavs win this series.
What?
I think the Mavs win the series, and I say this. Here's why. I don't think like that works for Jamal Murray, and I think it works for Devin Booker, but I think Luka and Kyrie are not. Kyrie is not Jamal Murray, and Luka is not Booker or KD. They are a different team. And I think PJ Washington, after showing what he can do, I think the matchup, it's a very even matchup. But I say those nights where Anthony Edwards can't shoot is 6 for 24.
He only had one.
He's stopping Luka.
He only had one of them.
I'm just saying. Who's stopping Luka?
Really quickly, Channing, really quickly.
Yes.
I hear you, and Channing's correct. But I think both of you are correct. It is a very close series.
Yeah, it's a super close.
We're going to play it very, very close. It's just judgment. Whose bigs are better? Dallas's bigs or Minnesota's bigs?
You're not going to like my answer. I think they even each other out.
So personally, you're going to say Naz Reid, the 6th man of the year, All NBA, and the defensive play, the All NBA scorer in Karl-Anthony Towns, and the defensive player of the year. I'll give the slight edge to them over Gafford and
we're talking the playoff series.
I know. I'm just
can guard Cat.
Yes, PJ can guard Cat. Okay. Yes, PJ can guard Cat. He's actually one of the guys that's built for it.
Gafford and Lively can guard Gobert. Naz Reid is the X factor. To me, Naz Reid is the X factor.
So you would say that. So you would say Minnesota has better bigs.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, stay with me here. the three-headed defensive monster of Jaden McDaniels, of Anthony Edwards, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The three of them defensively, rotating and taking turns. My thing is this. Yes, Luka was special. Luka's always going to be Luka. But defensively, Lou Dort was a problem. And they got 3 Lou Dorts, in my opinion, on the Minnesota side with more offensive capability. I think Lou Dort and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are probably the same offensively, in my opinion. The other boys, problems. So I'm just saying it's like they've guarded KD. They put Jamal Murray in a blender. They guarded Booker. They got guarded Bradley Beal. Luka's the best one that they have played, but I still think that they'll do as good a job as anyone in the league against Luka. They'll do as good of a job unless Luka's different, and he's not 100%. That's just my opinion.
Who's the best player in the series?
Luka.
Who's 2?
Oh, Edwards.
What?
Who was the best player? Who was the best player in the last series? Perk. Who was the best player in OKC versus Dallas? Who was the best player in the series?
SGA.
Facts.
Who was the best player in this series? Perk.
Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards.
God, y'all just
what do you think?
Look, Frye, listen to me.
Anthony Edwards is playing with amazing players. He is amazing, playing with amazing players.
Don't make excuses. Don't do that.
You're making excuses. I'm making an argument.
He's playing with amazing players.
He's playing with all second team NBA player, first team NBA player. He's playing with an all-star. Luka has to do more for his team to win. He's the better player. Luka was in the MVP conversation.
So was Anthony Edwards.
He wasn't even on the ballot. Jalen Brunson had a better regular season than he did.
I had a vote.
To
revoke. He was on the ballot.
They need to revoke.
He was on the ballot. He was on the ballot. We just overlooked him because he wasn't averaging 30 because he didn't have to. He didn't have to average 30.
He had a great year. He wasn't an all-star, Perk. He wasn't an all-star yet.
Who?
Anthony Edwards was not a top 5 player this year. He was not a top 5 player this year.
What does that have to? They don't have anything. And see,
we're talking about who's the best player in the series.
Look, do you have a vote?
No, I let it go.
Good. You don't need one because if you go about it, if that's how you go about it, saying this is how I'm about to vote for MVPs, you don't need one. Look, let me explain something to you.
What?
Let me explain something to you. But because you can't just say the top 5 players are the most valuable players. That's not the case. Braun is still a top 5 player. Hold on, time out. So Braun is still not a top 5 player in the league.
This year, Braun's not a top 5 player. He's not a top 5 player this year. That's not weird. Is he maybe 5 to 10? Absolutely. Top 5, Perk?
5 to 10 is still
6 to 10.
Top 5.
Come on, Perk. He was not. He will tell you he's not. He would not tell us that. He'd whisper in your ear and then kill you if you tell us about it.
That he's not a top 5 player. You know that. He would not tell us that. That's number one. Look, here's the thing about Anthony Edwards. We talking about who's going to stop Luka, who's going to stop Kyrie. They actually got 2 guys that really could stop those guys. 2 all-defensive players, right? And Anthony Edwards and McDaniels. Who is guarding Anthony Edwards? Because you don't have an Aaron Gordon over there.
You got Lou Dort.
Caldwell Pope tried. God bless his heart. It didn't turn out too good for him. He tried, and I like KCP. But you don't have a 6'9", 6'10", 250-pound frame to match up with Anthony Edwards. Because remember, he could take you off the dribble.
Edwards is not 6'9".
No, he's saying you don't have that to guard him. You need that to guard him.
Are you okay? You all right?
I know. Your accent.
I'm talking about Aaron Gordon,
your
bro.
accent.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. Who is going to stop Anthony Edwards?
You got to do it as a team. They've been doing it as a team. You got to put Derek. Your only option is Derek Jones Jr.
You'll put Derek Jones. Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
So you got.
I think.
Really
Look,
quick, Channing, can I
hold
say one
on,
thing?
real quick. And I don't want to like downplay what the Mavs what they have done thus far. But I will say this: they've had the easier path. They played the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard, and we all know what James Harden and PG go do in the playoff series. They go fold like clean sheets, and they did that. They had their one shining moment, then all of a sudden they disappeared. Both of them did. Okay. And then you look at Oklahoma City. What's the one knock that everybody had on Oklahoma City this entire season that Sam Presti didn't address at the trade deadline when he went and got Gordon Hayward? They didn't have size. They needed size. Like, there was too much to be putting on Chet. So they put all that pressure on him, and Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively just took turns, game after game, having, they playoff moments. They're not going to do that against the Timberwolves.
Really quick. No, what I was going to say is really quickly.
Stop him. We didn't stop SGA either, and SGA is more consistent than Ant.
Yeah. Well, okay, and also, okay, so Channing, so let's look at the defensive matchups. You like Derek Jones Jr. versus Anthony Edwards more than you like SGA, Jaden McDaniels, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker guarding Luka and Kyrie.
You mean Ant? Not
Ant guarding Luka and Kyrie. I see defenders versus offensive players, elite defenders.
Totally. That's a bad matchup. But I feel like Luka's matchup versus those smaller guards is not as it's not like, they're just gonna lock him up. I feel like Luka can go 1-to-1, and then who's guarding Kyrie?
What smaller guards, Shannon?
Jaden McDaniels is not as tall as Luka.
What? Are you okay?
Jaden McDaniels is 6'7".
How tall is Jaden McDaniels, Shannon?
Hey Siri, how tall is Jaden McDaniels?
Jaden McDaniels is.
Okay,
He what?
I thought he was 6'7".
Oh no, he's big, bro. He's
6'7".
he's huge, bro. Like Jaden McDaniels, he walks around with that hoodie.
Impressive.
He's got that.
That's
He wears his hoodie like KD. Like KD. That dude looks even taller when he's doing that.
Yeah.
And you know what else we got to realize? Jamal Murray. My wife just texted me and told me to get off Shannon back. I'm like, stay out of this.
You can't be on my back.
She said I keep going at you. Tell her we cool, man.
Stop it, man. You don't give a shit.
She on here watching, man. She needed.
I agree with her.
What time is it? Look, tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong. Let me ask y'all a question. Jamal Murray, every single season, he go from a borderline all-star caliber player in a regular season to damn near, an all-NBA player to almost an MVP caliber player in the postseason. We didn't see that in the second round. We didn't see that against the Timberwolves. He only scored over 20 one time in that series, and that was in Game 7. And he had 24 in the first half, 10 in the second half. That's how dangerous Anthony Edwards is defensively, bro.
So how much
I'm not saying
do you think? I'm just gonna ask, how much do you think Luka is gonna average in this series?
But look, it's just like Jalen Brunson, and I love Jalen Brunson. If you're gonna take 30 plus shots, you should be able to average 33. Is it gonna be efficient though?
Yeah, we'll see.
What is y'all's prediction for the Western Conference Finals?
I think Dallas in 7.
What?
I'm not crazy. No, he just wants to argue. What a dick.
Perk, why you look so grumpy, bro? Why are you doing that with your face? Look at that. Ew.
Whatever. I got Minnesota in 6.
Minnesota in 6. Channing? Wolves in 5.
I don't know why.
Someone
And you
said
make great
Channing looks like
points.
the little brother from Last Dragon.
The little
Bruce
older
Leroy's
brother
little
is
brother. Oh, that's
That's
great.
funny.
Matt?
What the heck is a Wookvies?
Wolves, Mac Munn.
Oh,